Let's look at brushes now. Now, if you've done my acrylic painting courses or oil painting courses, you'll know I don't fuss too much about brushes for those mediums. When it comes to watercolor though, I'm a little bit different. You know, I think the right brush set and a good quality brush set is important, more so with watercolor than what it is potentially with oils and acrylics, right? So I do have and have spent a fair bit of money getting a good quality brush set for my watercolors. You don't necessarily have to get a full range of brushes like this, so I'll go through a couple of brushes that I'd recommend as a starting point. So the first thing is mop brushes. You can see here I've got a range of mop brushes. Okay, so I've got 4 different size mop brushes, and they're all, you know, quite a good quality one. These are the Alvaro Castanet, or Castanet, I'm not sure how to say his surname, branded, but they're just made by Neef, okay? And they're a lovely mop brush. They're not the highest quality and the most expensive, but they do a very good job for you know, beginner sort of watercolor like myself, right? I wouldn't classify myself as a master with watercolor at all. I'm obviously reasonably good, but not a master. So these do me fine. And these are for big washes. So you would use the big one for, you know, a full sheet or a half sheet of watercolor. Maybe those two. As you get down to half and quarter, I'm using these two, you know, middle to small range mop brushes. And you want a good mop brush that comes to a point like so when it's moist. Okay, obviously when it's dry they fluff out, but when you have them in water and you're running them through paint, you want them to come to a nice point. I'm not sure if I can get the point on there for you, to do little detail work as well at the same time. So a good mop brush is essential. So you know, you don't need to get all 4 sizes. You can just get that one, right? And that would do you for most of the painting, a medium-sized mop brush. Okay, so you don't have to have all 4. However, you know, as I said, for watercolor, I like to have a good brush set. And then accompanying those are these. I'm not really sure what these are called, but I think these are also, they're made by Neef and they're also branded as Alvaro Castanet. And what these are, they've got little pointy bits on there. So they're perfect for doing little detail work, calligraphy, little dots and dashes, tree branches, power lines, things like that, right? So they're a really good brush. And again, you don't need to get all 3. I could probably just get away with having this one, you know, size 3. However, because I was a fan of Alvaro Castanet's watercolor at the time, still am a fan of his watercolor, you know, I went out and bought the full range of his brush set. I'm not recommending his brush set necessarily, right? I'm not saying go out and buy Alvaro Castanet, or if you do, that's great. But this is not a product endorsement. I'm just saying that as a set, the mop brushes and these ones with the pointy head are definitely what you want to, you know, get invested into. So a middle-size mop brush and a middle-size pointy head, I don't know how else to describe it, is a good place to start. And you can do a lot of watercolor painting just with those, right? Just having those brushes in your kit. From there, we progress on. And I do think it's worthwhile having a couple of flat brushes. So these ones here are made of squirrel hair, I believe. Yeah, I think they're squirrel hair. These ones here are synthetic hairs. So they're not a natural hair, they're synthetic. And these are Neef also. So Neef's a good brand, I found. Taklon, there we go. Neef Taklon. And they're good to have, especially if you're doing some architectural sort of work or urban sketches with buildings and so on. A good flat brush is good to have, I find. I don't use them a lot. I tend to stick with the others there, but always good to have in your kit. And with those are these round brushes here. Okay, got a variety of sizes here, and these are from the Robert Wade series. And again, they're made by Neef. They're Taklon rounds, and a variety of sizes. Now, Robert Wade's another great Australian watercolor artist. Okay, so variety of rounds. And again, do you need to have 4 different sizes? Probably not. You could probably get away with just the middle size one. Okay, but you know, one good flat brush, one good round, one good mop brush, one good pointy head. for want of a better word. And then I've also got a rigger brush here. This is made by Montmartre. It's a sable rigger. I'm not actually sure if it's sable hair or not. I doubt it, but it may be. But yeah, sable hair is the ultimate in watercolor brushes. However, they're also extremely expensive for sable hair, right? So I think that may be just what they've called it. I doubt very much whether Montmartre are producing genuine sable hair brushes, but they might be. So there's that. That's a rigger brush used for fine lines and details. However, I tend to use the pointy heads a bit more. And what else have I got here? I've got this little set. I have no idea. I think I might have got these when I was in China as well. I think they gave them to me as a sample. Nice little soft haired brushes. They're rounds. I never use them because I always tend to go for that kit there, but they're not a bad little brush, and one day I might use them, right? I think I used them once when I was given them as a sample by a manufacturer. They've stayed in there. And so that's pretty much my whole setup. I have a pencil for drawing. I think it's a 2B. And so you're going to need a soft pencil, and you're going to need a rubber, although you know, you really shouldn't be rubbing things out on watercolor paper. So let's just go with you need a pencil, right? And that's pretty much the whole brush kit that I'm using for watercolor. It's pretty exciting to have a nice brush set, and it's worth investing a little bit of money in your brushes, because I do think with watercolor, it does make a difference, okay? So that's the brushes that you'll need.